A hidden room in the mansion. A room filled with files, documents, and a single photograph of a woman. The woman looked exactly like her. Who was she? And why did Alexander have her picture? A wife ignored for 5 years decides to leave, only to uncover dark secrets, a dangerous obsession, and a love powerful enough to set the world on fire. But we start the video, let us know where you're watching this video, and if you like this story, don't forget to subscribe Story Store, and please share your thoughts about this story in comment section. Blood pounded in her ears as Elena yanked open the grand oak doors of the mansion, her breath coming in sharp gasps. The weight of 5 wasted years pressed down on her chest. 5 years of being unseen, unheard, unloved. 5 years of lying beside a man who treated her like a stranger. Enough was enough. Her suitcase thumped against the marble floor, the sound echoing through the vast entryway. The bitter sting of unshed tears blurred her vision, but she refused to break. Not now, not when freedom was finally within reach. She barely made it past the threshold when a strong hand clamped around her wrist, yanking her back. Elena. That voice. Deep, commanding, laced with something unreadable. She turned, her pulse erratic. Alexander Kingston. The man she had once hoped to love. The man who had reduced her to nothing but a forgotten shadow in his life. His stormy blue eyes locked onto hers, his grip tightening. Where do you think you're going? Elena straightened her spine, trying to suppress the tremor in her voice. I'm leaving, Alex. She gestured between them, her breath hitching. This farce of a marriage is over. A muscle ticked in his jaw, and for the first time in years, she saw something in his gaze. Not indifference, something darker, something possessive. Elena, he murmured, his fingers brushing against her palm before tightening again. Her skin burned where he touched, but she yanked her arm free. Don't. A flicker of something, pain, crossed his face, but it was gone in an instant. You think I'll just let you walk away? His voice was low, dangerous. Her heart pounded. You don't get a say anymore. She turned and stepped outside. Elena. The way he said her name sent shivers down her spine. She kept walking. She had to. But she knew deep down that Alexander Kingston wasn't the kind of man to let go so easily. The past came crashing down on her like a tidal wave. 5 years ago, Elena had been a hopeful girl forced into a marriage she never wanted. She had dreamed, foolishly, that maybe, just maybe, Alexander would come to care for her. But he never did. This is business, nothing more. She still remembered the cold detachment in his voice on their wedding night, the way he had stood across the room, his hands in his pockets, distant and untouchable. Don't expect love, because I don't have it to give. And he had kept his word. No love, no affection, only duty. Now, as she packed the last of her things, she felt nothing but regret. Years wasted, waiting for something that would never come. Just as she reached the door, a firm grip caught her wrist, again. She sucked in a sharp breath. You can't leave, Alexander said, his voice lower this time. She turned, her pulse erratic. He was closer now, much closer than he had been in years. His grip wasn't forceful but firm, as if he was holding on to something slipping through his fingers. She swallowed. Why, Alex? Why does it matter to you now? His jaw tightened. Because, he exhaled, his fingers trailing down to her palm, lingering there for a second too long. For the first time, she saw hesitation in his eyes. Something raw. Her chest ached with frustration. You had 5 years. He reached up as if to touch her cheek, but stopped himself. Elena. Her heart clenched. She couldn't fall for this. Not again. She pulled away. It's too late. And this time he let her go. But the look in his eyes told her this wasn't over. Elena had expected anger, maybe even indifference, but not this. The moment she stepped out of the mansion, she realized the extent of Alexander's power. Her bank accounts frozen, her passport revoked. Guards stationed at every exit, ensuring she remained right where he wanted her. Panic clawed at her chest as she stormed into his study, slamming the door behind her. "What have you done?" Alexander barely looked up from his desk, his fingers tapping rhythmically against the polished wood. "I've made sure you don't do something you'll regret." She laughed bitterly. "Regret? The only thing I regret is wasting 5 years of my life on you." His eyes darkened. In a flash, he was on his feet, closing the distance between them. "Elena," he murmured, his hand lifting as if to cup her face. But he hesitated, just for a second, before letting it fall back to his side. "You can't keep me here," she whispered, hating the tremor in her voice. His jaw clenched. "You're my wife. That never mattered to you before." Silence, heavy, tense. Then, "It matters now." Her breath hitched as he stepped even closer, heat radiating from his body. For the first time, his touch wasn't cold, his gaze not distant. It was something else entirely, possessive, terrifying. And she wasn't sure if it was fear or something far more dangerous that made her pulse race. Escape wasn't an option. Not yet. So Elena did the only thing she could. She searched. Late at night, when the mansion was silent, she crept through the halls, following instincts she didn't fully understand. Something was wrong. Something had always been wrong. Then she found it. A locked room. Her heart pounded as she picked the lock, hands shaking. The door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit space filled with old files, documents, and a photograph. Elena's breath caught in her throat. The woman in the picture looked exactly like her. A chill ran down her spine as she turned the frame over. Scribbled in ink was a name she didn't recognize. "Elena." She jumped, spinning to find Alexander standing in the doorway, his face pale. He took slow, deliberate steps toward her. "You shouldn't be here." She clutched the photograph to her chest. "Who is she?" His lips parted, but no words came. The mask he always wore cracked, just a little. "You don't want to know," he finally whispered. But she did, and something told her. This was only the beginning. Elena slammed the photograph onto Alexander's desk, her chest heaving. "Who is she?" He didn't answer. His fingers hovered over the picture, but he didn't touch it, as if it burned him. "Alex." Her voice wavered. "Tell me the truth." His jaw tightened. "She was my wife." The room spun. A cold weight settled in her stomach. "Before me?" A slow nod. Her mind raced. No one had ever mentioned a first wife. No whispers, no rumors. Nothing. What happened to her? He exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair. "She's dead." Elena swallowed hard. "How?" Silence. She took a shaky step back. "Did you?" The question caught in her throat. His eyes flashed. "No." The word came out too fast, too sharp. He stood abruptly, rounding the desk. "She betrayed me, Elena." His voice was low, almost dangerous. "She destroyed everything, and when I found out..." His lips pressed into a thin line. "She disappeared." Elena's skin prickled. "Disappeared?" I let the world believe she was dead. Something about the way he said it made her shiver. He stepped closer, his hand brushing her arm. "You're nothing like her." His voice softened, but there was something else in his gaze. Desperation? Fear? She wanted to pull away, but she couldn't. because for the first time, she wasn't sure whether she was standing before a broken man or a monster. The truth haunted her. Elena spent days combing through the mansion, searching for answers. If Alexander had lied about his first wife, what else had he kept from her? Then she found it. Tucked away in the depths of his office was another file. She hesitated before opening it, her pulse hammering. Inside were police reports, surveillance photos, and something that made her blood turn to ice. A wedding photo. The same woman from before standing beside Alexander, smiling. Elena traced the picture with trembling fingers. She looked so much like her. Too much. "Elena," she gasped, spinning around. Alexander stood in the doorway, his expression unreadable. "What are you doing?" His voice was eerily calm. She clutched the file to her chest. "Who was she to you?" His gaze darkened. "You already know." Elena shook her head. "This isn't normal, Alex. Why do I look like her?" A muscle in his jaw ticked. "It doesn't matter." She took a step back. "It matters to me." He exhaled, his hand reaching out but stopping short. "I lost her once," he murmured, "and I won't lose you too." Her breath caught. Was that why he kept her close? Why he never let her go? Because in his twisted mind she wasn't just Elena. She was a ghost from his past. Elena had to get out. Now, Alexander's obsession wasn't love, it was possession. And if she stayed, she would never be free. She moved cautiously, pretending to accept her fate, waiting for the right moment. There were cracks in his armor, moments when his grip on control slipped. That was when she would strike. Late one night she met Olivia, a housemaid who had been secretly helping her. "The back gate," Olivia whispered. "Midnight. I'll leave it unlocked." Elena's heart pounded as she nodded. That night she packed light, just essentials. Freedom was worth more than diamonds and silk. She crept through the dark hallways, each step agonizingly slow. The air felt heavy, as if the house itself was holding its breath. The back gate was in sight, just a few more steps. Going somewhere? A shiver ran down her spine. Alexander leaned against the gate, his expression eerily calm. "You really thought you could leave me?" Her throat tightened. "You can't keep me here." He stepped closer, his fingers brushing her cheek in a way that sent a chill through her. "You're mine, Elena." His voice was a whisper, a promise, and I don't let go. Terror and something dangerously close to longing warred inside her. She had tried to run. Now she would have to find another way to fight. Elena wasn't giving up. If running wasn't an option, she would outplay him. She needed allies, needed leverage. Alexander had weaknesses. She just had to find them. But she underestimated him. One evening, he led her to the grand dining hall, a candlelit dinner waiting. The intimacy felt suffocating. "Sit," he ordered, pulling out a chair. She hesitated, then, slowly, she obeyed. He poured wine into her glass, watching her too intently. "You intrigue me, Elena," he admitted. 5 years and I never truly saw you. That was my mistake." She swallowed hard. "And now?" A slow smirk curved his lips. "Now, you have my full attention." Her heart pounded. This wasn't love. It was a game, and he was enjoying it. She picked up her glass, her fingers steady despite the storm raging inside her. If he wanted to play, so be it. But he would regret ever underestimating her. The moment his lips left hers, Elena shoved him away, breathless and furious. "What are you doing?" she whispered, her heart slamming against her ribs. Alexander's eyes darkened. "What I should have done years ago." She wiped her mouth, anger and confusion twisting inside her. "You kept me locked in this house, treated me like I was invisible. And now, what? You suddenly want me? His jaw tightened. "You don't understand." "Then make me." A long silence stretched between them before he exhaled sharply. "I lied to you." Her blood ran cold. "My first wife isn't dead," he admitted. "She betrayed me, sold secrets to my enemies, and vanished before I could make her pay." His fingers curled into fists. "I searched for her, but then I found you." Elena's breath hitched. "Me?" He stepped closer, his voice low. "You look just like her, but you're nothing like her. I kept my distance because I was afraid." She shook her head, backing away. "Afraid of what?" His gaze burned into hers. "That I'd love you the way I loved her, and that you'd destroy me the same way she did." A chill ran down her spine. This wasn't love, it was obsession, and now she wasn't sure if she was his wife or his prisoner. Elena wanted to run, but his words kept her frozen in place. "You're lying," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Alexander's lips curled into a bitter smile. "Am I?" She clenched her fists. "You kept me here because I reminded you of her. That's sick, Alex." His expression hardened. "I kept you because I knew the moment I let you go, you'd never come back." Her pulse pounded. "That's not love." "No." He leaned in, his breath warm against her skin. "But it's the closest thing to it that I've ever known." A shiver ran through her. She should have been disgusted, terrified. But instead she felt something far more dangerous. A pull. "Tell me you don't feel it too," he murmured. She wanted to deny it, wanted to slap him, scream, escape. But the worst part? She wasn't sure she could. The first shot shattered the window. Elena barely had time to react before Alexander yanked her down, shielding her body with his. Glass rained around them as chaos erupted in the mansion. "Stay down," he ordered, his voice sharp with authority. But she wasn't listening. Heart hammering, she peeked up just in time to see masked men storming the hallway, guns drawn. "Alexander!" she gasped. He pulled a gun from the holster beneath his suit jacket, his entire demeanor shifting. Gone was the cold, calculating man she knew. This was someone else entirely. Dangerous, ruthless, unshaken. The intruders moved fast, but Alexander was faster. Shots rang through the air, bodies falling one by one, but it wasn't enough. A hand clamped around Elena's wrist, yanking her up. She screamed, struggling, but the man's grip was iron. "Elena!" A gunshot, a sickening thud. Her captor collapsed, blood pooling beneath him. She turned, trembling, to see Alexander standing there, his face twisted in fury. "If they touch you," he seethed, closing the distance between them, "I'll burn this world down." He cupped her face, his fingers pressing into her skin. "You're mine," he murmured, voice raw. And for the first time, she wasn't sure if she wanted to run from him, or run to him. The world outside didn't matter, not anymore. Elna sat beside Alexander, her fingers brushing over the bandage on his arm. "You could have died," she whispered. His hand closed over hers, firm, unyielding. "But I didn't because I won't leave you." She should have fought harder, should have run. But as he pulled her close, his lips ghosting over hers, she realized the truth. She had fallen for him. Now she didn't want to escape. She wanted to stay. Forever.